famous faces there and some famous ones here. The man in the middle there, Dave Whelan. You will know if you were watching an hour ago just how much it means to Wigan's chairman and owner to pull a result off today. This is a remarkable story and one he shared with Gabriel Clark.
I treasure it. It's the FA Cup, you know. It's the most precious trophy in football. Magnificent.
Handsome brew, do you think?
Everything he does 100%.
Oh! What did he do?
He can be ruthless.
Look at that. What are we doing?
I can think of a lot of people that would say he was terrifying.
If there's one lesson football has taught you, what is it?
Never give up.
Last week, Dave Whelan unveiled his new project for Wigan. A state-of-the-art youth centre. 50p to those children who can afford it, free entry to those who can't.
He's going to be a boxer.
You talk about there being one defining moment in your life.
Wigan Boys Club. Saved me from everything I was doing wrong.
He's always had a soft spot for Wigan's Boys Club. That's where he was discovered by one of the Backman scouts.
Yeah, mate, looking serious there.
What was your nickname?
Crunch.
How hard were you?
It wouldn't be tolerated today. We're going back a while. The FA Cup, it was everything.
The star football match is on.
I was very near this.
Norman Dealey came a foot over the ball.
Crunch.
Dave Whelan was in collision and was seriously injured.
That was the worst one, that's where it broke. Snapped the shin pad as well.
It was later reported he'd broken a leg.
And he was obviously in agony.
Are you bitter about that tackle?
Yes. I mean, I broke both bones, both gone. Never played in that league again. Disaster.
I sometimes wonder, though, it finished his football career and really made him the man he is now.
God bless you, Dave. Just saved my wife and 14 kids.
Well, this is where it all started. We took £13, I think, the first day, and the first week's trade was £60.
When I first made £1 million,
£60 on the market, it was superb.
I was probably 31, 32. I was still playing football.
He wasn't like the rest of us.
Hello.
He bought a shop in Blackburn and then moved back to Wigan, and the rest's history, really.
I enjoyed buying and selling.
Take half a dozen, Jim. I've moved into sports outfitting and gents outfitting, and we've formed a company, JJB Sports Limited.
By early 1995, JJB was valued at nearly £1 billion. And Wigan Athletic were going out of business.
Springfield Park. I remember Dave standing up. He had big plans for Wigan Athletic. In 10 years' time, Wigan Athletic would be in the Premier League.
And there was a little bit of laughing around the table, obviously, because we were third from the bottom of the 4th division.
What's he on about? Premier League, Wigan Athletic. And here we are 8 years later, still in the Premier League.
For another few days at least.
We're just not starting.
Relegation would be a setback in the short term.
Complete utter rubbish.
The challenge is to ensure that this is not as good as it gets, that Wigan's success story continues long into the future.
Come on! Come on!
I'm now 76, and sometime in the next 2-3 years, I'm going to have to pass it down to one of my grandsons. David will take over the running of the club.
I don't like to think of Dave not being here. That is a no-no for me. But Wigan, I think, will be the stronger because of him.
Will his spirit always be here?
Definitely. Definitely.
We opened the doors and food.
Sorry about that.
Excuse me. Hello.
I'll phone you back, I'm just doing an interview. Bye. I owe my very, very life to one game football.
But football gave you your darkest moment.
But where would we be without football? Where would life be? Is it worth living without football?
He went off on a stretcher. He's going out on his 2 feet as chairman of Wigan. I think he's got to be a very, very proud man.
The medals have always been the same and they're very precious. I love it to say on there, winners. That's the only thing wrong with that medal.
I think it'll be so emotional. I know it's good for the manager and the players and everything, but for him, I hope we win the FA Cup. He deserves it.
The biggest buzz in my life ever, and it's not happened yet, will be if we can lift that cup on that day. That will be the biggest buzz anybody could have in life.
My name is Isidro Diaz. My name is Jesus Seba. My name is Roberto Martinez.
There were 3 of you, the 3 amigos. What year did you first come to Wigan? Remind us.
1995.
And what was it like then? I look round at this cafe now, there's espressos and fancy ice cream and cakes. Is that your doing? Did you bring all those in?
Well, let me tell you, if we wouldn't find this place in 95, it would have been very, very different. We were the first Spanish players to come over, so it was a huge, huge culture shock.
Do you still take the odd siesta?
No. I'm half British now. I get told off my wife. But obviously you buy into the project and you buy into the figure of someone that's as special as Dave Whelan.
What did you make of him? Do you get blokes like Dave Whelan in Spain?
No, not as successful or as honest. He told us the first day, in 10 years I'm going to have a new stadium and we're going to be in the Premier League. But the most amazing thing is that I believed him.
Come on, Adrian, just try this. It's a new flavour.
Has it got any food colouring in this? You've got a player you want to bring in now, and he says, Gaffer, what's your philosophy? What do you say?
Well, I like to rely on the talent of players to win football games. That's the first and foremost. I like to dominate games. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. You need to find a way to control the ball. You need to control the possession, and then find a way to break teams down. We don't use umbrellas here, you know.
Yeah, you went on Saturday, that's now your lucky umbrella, you'll be using that every time. So I found myself watching Barcelona humiliated by Bayern. I was thinking about you and I thought it's a black season for poor Roberto, who Wigan struggling at the wrong end of the table. Now, is that beautiful football, this kind of philosophy of yours, is it sort of slightly outdated now?
Not at all. For the future of a football club, you need to stamp a clear way of playing and a clear identity, and that doesn't happen overnight. And that comes from the understanding of the players, firstly, but as important is to have the fans that they understand it and they are patient to see that evolution of that team.
Clinging on to this for grim death. Are you chairman of the Las Vegas branch of the Wigan Athletic?
Yeah, population 1.
What's the score going to be?
I think it's going to be 20 to 30 or 19 tonight.
I think it's well, 19. Man City have got a bit of the Bayern about them, this mixture of brain and brawn. How do you deal with that?
Well, they're an outstanding football team, but I don't think it changes anything from our point of view. We know that we are the underdogs, we accept that, we understand that role, but we're not going to go to the final just to enjoy the occasion. You go to the final to compete and try to win it.
How hard is it to get some measure of confidence that you can win them on the biggest of occasions?
Because we waited for the big occasion to get that win.
Timing?
Yes.
Time to late run into the box. I like your style, that's fantastic.
It's never raining here, Adrian. I'm so surprised, it's a real shame. You should have seen the sunshine you always get here.
For the final, everything is meticulously planned, but a little bit of luck doesn't go amiss, does it?
More than a bit.
There's a statue out there, I'm told, which if you touch the foot, is that right?
It is, yeah, Francis Powell.
So have you touched that foot before, the lucky foot?
No, not yet, no, but we're waiting for a good occasion.
That's where you went wrong, you touched it, you'd probably be in the Champions League places now. Foolish. He's got a nice right foot, I reckon he could do a proper slide rule pass with that. So you rub that, and you get like, hang on a minute, not yet. I don't know whether you heard, but Sir Alex Ferguson has left Man United, and David Moyes is going to replace him. That obviously creates an opportunity at Everton that would surely appeal to you.
Well, I would say that this is the peak of the season for us. It would be so wrong to talk about any individuals.
See, if Gabriel Clark was here, he'd say, Roberto, would you go to Everton, yes or no? I'm not impolite enough to do that, but I just passed that question on from Gabriel, so would you consider it yes or no?
Tell Gabriel to give me a call.
Do you want to win the cup final, or do you want to stay in the Premier League? You can only make one wish.
The wish is a double wish.
Oh, is it?
Both, yes.
All right, you can have a double wish then.
We only need to win 3 games, so I'll wish that. 3 games, 3 victories.
Go on then, Rob.